So we finished that quickly. Let me change my stream title because now I'd like to finish up this waveform collapse thing. So let's go over here and edit stream info and go to Rust Roguelike tutorial waveform collapse. Okay. Stream info updated successfully. All right, so let's reset our brains. Make sure we're all good. And then we were in what were we doing? Oh, we had just finished this part here. And we were going to start offering different build options to the game. Okay. Let's pull up this function. So in mod.rs. And it's in the map builders. We're going to offer 3 modes to our random builder function: test map, just the Rex paint map, and derived, run on an existing algorithm. So in mod.rs, we add enumeration to extend our structure to hold some related data. Is that in here? Yes, it's in here. And we're going to say derive from option box din map builder. So this is creating a dynamic dispatch, boxing it up so we have a size, and making it an option. We extend our new constructor to include these. Okay. Where's our new constructor? Right here. New depth, and then mode. Oh, I missed the mode. I was like, wait a second, where's this mode coming from? Mode, waveform mode. And that's up here. We're going to just add derive partial equal, copy and clone. And it's going to have test map or derived. Okay. And then down here, we're going to have waveform mode and derive from, from option box din map builder. Right? Yep. Okay, and then we're going to just throw those in here. Mode and derive from. In Rust, if the name of the variable you're putting inside your constructor is the same as the name of the struct element, then you don't have to put the colon there. You don't have to say mode, colon mode. You can just say mode. Then we'll add some functionality into the top of our build function. So that must be this part here, and that's where we get the random number generator. So it's right here. If self mode is waveform mode test map, like that. Self map is load Rex map. Is that this thing here? Yeah. And we'll switch it back to demo 1. So we'll just put that here. Shift it over. Load Rex map self depth, and then we have that, and the unwrap, and then we take a snapshot and we return. Okay. Self take snapshot. Return. All right. If it's not a test map, then we're going to derive something. So there's a random number generator. Derive from as mute. So that's interesting. We're going to set the chunk size back to 8. That doesn't need to be there. And then this is what we were doing before, and I commented this out. So we can put it back in, I guess, right? And then say we have a pre-builder. All right, so we're calling this derive from, which is going to be a map builder And that way we don't have to pass in all sorts of, sorry, we don't have to pass that in. We can just build it from that. And it's going to have to know, so it's got to unoption it and unbox it at the same time. Because this could be a none, right? There's nothing here that's checking to see if it's not a none. So I wonder how that works. Self map is pre-builder get map. And then we're going to eliminate the downstairs. Just like we did there. And then we're going to take a snapshot. Right? Okay. And now we'll add a couple of constructors to make it easier for a random builder to not have to know about the innards of the WFC algorithm. Okay. Right, and that's up here. Next to new, what we can just have is a pub. Oh, hi, Epic. Yeah, sorry, I started at 7, so maybe the problem is I don't want to start later because then I won't be able to finish it if it's a long problem. The challenge is pretty straightforward. Let me just flip back to the code briefly here. Day 09, yeah. So it's basically finding the lowest points on a map, and that was pretty straightforward. All I did was look at all the locations around it and make sure that every location was less than. And then the next one was the basin filling, which I used a pretty basic backtracking algorithm in an iterative way. So it was pretty easy. It took 20 minutes on each part, which was a lot easier than yesterday. Okay, let's see, pub fun test map. So then, since I have time, I might as well finish up this chapter because I've been putting this off for a while now with advent of code in here. Waveform collapse builder new depth waveform mode test map and none. Right? Oh, we want to return that. And then for derived map, we're going to pass in a builder, which is going to be a box of did map builder. And instead this is going to be derived, and this is going to be the builder. Oh, it's going to be some builder. That's some builder. All right. Lastly, we'll modify random builder to sometimes return the test map and sometimes return WFC on whatever map we've created. Interesting. Interesting. So in here, we're going to say down here, if RNG roll dice 1, 3 is a 1. So 1 time in 3, we're going to change our map. And that means this has to be here. And this has to say result equals, let result equals. Right? Okay, so what'll happen now is once in a while it'll create a, so every time through here it'll pick one map to build, and then it'll say 1 time in 3, instead of using that map we just built, we're going to use that as a starting point for this waveform collapse thing. Which sounds pretty exciting actually. So we do have this test map in here. So that's what we're going to change this guy to, test map. And then down here we have derived map. Does any of this check? Does not. Oh, RNG. I need to grab a new RNG. Oop. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. I do have an RNG. I was just doing this to test things out. And why doesn't this work? Expected waveform collapse. ARMs have incompatible types. So the waveform collapse builder needs to return a builder, right? Yeah, isn't waveform collapse builder a builder? A map builder? Maybe it isn't. Yeah, we're implementing map builder for waveform collapse builder. So what was the error again? Maybe I misread it. Nope. Okay. Yeah. It's saying that these two aren't the same. It's box new, BSP. Yeah, this is all. Oh, so maybe if I force it, can I do this? Boxed in map builder. Can I force it like that? Yes. Okay, so that was the issue, was that, yeah, these are all different maps that it's returning, but Rust wasn't seeing the fact that they all implement this map builder thing. So once I told it needed to be a map builder, then this worked. So let's actually build this and see how it looks. Because every time I refresh it, it should come up with a different map. And sometimes it'll waveform collapse the map, right? So I'm gonna hit refresh. Yeah, so there it just waveform collapsed the map. And I'm not sure which map it chose. It went too fast. I'm gonna hit refresh again. That's not a waveform collapse. That's not. That's not. And that one panicked. I wonder what that one was. And now I can't reload because it's in an infinite loop. All right. So we have an issue. Oh, what happened to my extra? I thought I had an extra window here. Let's create a new window. Go over here. So documents, dev rt cargo run release. I just want to see what the panic is. Let me make that bigger. Yeah, so I mean it was doing the thing. It was just that, oh, wrong window. There. It was doing the thing. It's just that there was one point at which there must be some bug in my waveform collapse thing that couldn't handle something. Couldn't handle one of the maps that was generated. So that one did. Okay. Let's try again. Nope. Yep, so that one works. I just keep running it over and over again. Oh, that's kind of interesting. It's not panicking now. Oh well. And unfortunately, because we hit an infinite loop, there's no backtrace to look at. So that'll be an interesting problem to solve. But meanwhile, we've got this part done. Make Clippy happy and format it, git add source, git commit -m, waveform, done. Watching map generation is quite mesmerizing. Yeah, so the waveform one takes forever because it's doing the each individual square, and the maze one also takes forever because it's running through the maze and taking a snapshot every n steps through it. Wow, this is slow. Yeah. So this, it's adding chunks, and eventually it's going to fill out the map, and then it'll, what does it do? It culls all the areas you can't reach from the downstairs or from the starting location. Those get culled, and there you go. You just saw that got completely culled because nothing was in the starting location. So this is less than ideal in terms of, and I can't go down. It couldn't find a place to put the downstairs. So it's buggy. That's fun. I wonder if it's worth trying to fix that. Let's take a moment to do a little housekeeping on our code. There are quite a few warnings about the project when you compile. There are almost all dysfunction is never used or equivalent. Since we're building a library of map builders, it's okay to not always call the constructors. All right, so I'm not seeing those, and probably because I did already put this into a library. All right, Epic says, remember that if you have a process that hangs, you can always attach a debugger to it and see what it's doing. Yeah, so, oops, I got some sort of a double quote thing going on there. Oh, because I hit an exclamation point. Okay. Yeah, so do I even have GDB here? I don't even have GDB. On Mac OS, what's a good Rust debugger? LLDB. This would be a useful thing to learn, right? So maybe I can, in the background, I'll create a new window here, brew install LLDB, because I don't think it's here. Oh, it is. Oh, neat. Oh, and you can't brew install it. Oh, yeah, I was just in the middle of doing something. Okay, never mind. But if LLDB is here, Rust LLDB, oh, very nice. Very nice. And then can you attach to a PID? Yes. Okay. So unfortunately, I can't do that when it's in the browser, right? Because it's running in the WASM sandbox inside. Why did I go there? The WASM sandbox inside of. Oh, that's cool. Inside the browser. But if we can get it to reproduce out here, then yeah, then I'll be able to attach to it and find out why are we doing an infinite loop. And there's all this code up here. Where'd it go? All this stuff here where we loop, right? This is just an iteration, but we loop over all the iterations. Let me search for that. Yeah, so while not solver iteration. So it was probably in here, just looping. Because there's probably a mistake I made in the iteration code here, which doesn't ever exit. Oh, this is that pattern to constraints. This'll end because this just goes for each pattern. So that'll always end. It's the iteration code that could just run forever. So we would have to just go line by line and look to see where I made the mistake, because I'm sure it's something I did wrong. In terms of the iteration code here, that it's always returning true for that loop that I was just looking at. Yeah, right here. It's probably always returning false, I guess. That we didn't solve it. All right. So is that all of waveform collapse? Did I finish all that? We don't get the warnings because I think it's because I'm already putting the whole thing in a library. It's under this tutorials library and the map builders library, so maybe that's why. Or maybe I'm already... Oh, come on. There. Am I already calling Drunkard's Walk new? There's Drunkard's Walk Builder. Or maybe these guys are calling new. Maybe that's what I did. Yeah. Yeah, so these are calling new. So that's not dead code. And then cleaning up unused embedded files. We're not using WFC test 2 XP, so let's remove it from the Rex assets. Okay. I'll just comment it out because no, I'll just delete it. That's fine. There we go. And there's a small dungeon there. This saves a little bit of space in the resulting binary. Okay. Is that all we changed? Okay, let's push that up. And then we actually started looking at this a long time ago. Prefab levels and level sections. So let's dive into that. And see how far we get. I got maybe a half hour or 40 minutes or so. So, we're going to start with cleanup. In the Wave Function Collapse chapter, we loaded a pre-made level without any entities. Those are added later. It's not really very nice to hide a map loader inside WFC since it isn't its primary purpose. So we'll start by removing it. Okay, we'll start by deleting the file image loader, and we'll be building a better one in a minute. And then we'll edit the start of mod to do this. Okay. Oh, I see. We have common, we have constraints, we have solver. This is all the same. Generic constructor. Right, they've just added some comments here. We have derived map and then test map. Oh, we've removed all references to image loader. Okay. Okay, so let's do that. That was the only one. I thought. Oh, here, load Rex map. Right? So we have to get rid of load Rex map. So how do we do the test map then? Okay. At some point, we got to figure out how to do the test map. Removed all references to image loader, remove the test map constructor, and remove the ugly mode enumeration. Oh. Okay. Get rid of waveform mode. Yeah, that's gone. That also means that that's not going to check because mod, yeah, now we're expecting this to exist, right? So this just takes new depth now. Oh, there is no test map. Sorry, and then we get rid of this mode here. And now what's not going to check is the mod.rs. Nope. Get rid of mode there and there. And then in the random selection, yeah, there is no test map. There's only derived map. So I'm going to comment that out for now. And that checks. Okay. Remove the test map constructor, remove the ugly code enumeration. Lastly, we'll modify random builder to not use a test map anymore. Okay, I did that. All right, we have a skeletal builder. So we're going to make a prefab builder in here. Source map builders prefab. Oh, that's right. We started this Let's remove that directly because it looks like we're just creating a new file, not a directory, right? I'm going to say superstar. Use RLTK random number generator. Use specs prelude star builder. Okay, so we're creating a so this is the we can just grab a map builder, right? Source map builders, Drunkard's Walk, for example, and get rid of all that. I do want to add that crate thing though. Oh, that was the super crate. Okay. We don't need Drunkard settings. This has become the prefab. Oops. Prefab builder. I'm going to say Drunkard's Walk builder and change that to prefab builder, prefab builder, prefab builder, prefab builder. Okay, and then we're going to change this starting position, depth, and history, and we get rid of the noise areas and the Drunkard's map. So I don't know what we're going to do about the noise areas. We just delete those. That stays the same. We got the prefab builder. We don't need the settings. And we get rid of noise areas and settings. And then the rest of this goes away. Oops. There. All right. So I think that's the prefab. Right? Clone, starting position clone, history clone, build, spawn entities is empty, and that. And then we have this. And then build, we need a build function. Let's try to do that. Then build. And it takes a mutable reference to self. And doesn't do anything right now. That checks. Actually, I don't know if it checks because we didn't add it to our code. Right? We're going to support multiple modes for the prefab builder. So let's bake that in at the beginning. In order for this to be used, though, in order for this to actually compile, at some point we're going to have to add it. Oh, okay. So they just add it here as random builder. Okay. My question is this getting compiled? Source map builders mod. Yeah, I think we have to add it here. Mod prefab builder. And then just use prefab builder. And now we'll cargo check. Okay. What did I do wrong there? Oh, use. Oh, prefab builders with an S. Okay. Use specs, not spaces. Okay, so we got 7 warnings, but that's okay. This is compiling. All right, so we're going to support multiple modes. Derive, partial, EQ, clone. And this is saying allow dead code. But if we're using it, why would it say that? Why would we need that? I'm going to leave it out and see what the warning is. This is how I learn. Enum prefab mode. Rex level. Template is a static stir. Okay, so I guess that's just a path name. And then we're going to say mode prefab mode. Like that. This is a new and enum with variables. This works because under the hood, Rust enumerations are actually unions. But it's not new. We have that for I mean, we've been using it all over the place, like here. Right? So it's not new. Okay. They can hold whatever you want. Yes, best to be used sparingly in tight code, but for things like configuration, it's a very clean way to pass in data. Yeah, that's fine. And then the prefab builder, we need to modify the new. Got map new depth, starting position of 0, depth new depth, history law, and then mode is equal to prefab mode, rex level, template, resources.wfc demo1.xp, like that. Okay, including the map template path in the mode makes for easier reading, even if it's slightly more complicated. We're not filling the prefab builder with the variables for all the options we might use. We're keeping them separated. That's generally good practice. Now we'll re-implement the map reader we previously deleted from image loader, only we'll add it as a member function for prefab builder. Okay. Load rex map. Oh, I don't think I deleted it from right? Load rex map. Yeah, it's still inside here. Are we supposed to delete that whole file? Yeah, delete the file. Okay. Just making sure I'm deleting the correct file. Okay. So we're going to re-implement this now as a member function inside here. Let xp file rltk rex xp file from resource path unwrap. This is feeling very similar to today's advent of code. With let cell is layer get xy unwrap. If x is less than self map width. Oh, yeah, width as usize. Y is less than self map height as usize. Let idx is self map xy idx. And match cell character as u8 as char. Self map tiles idx is tile type floor. Here I go again, hitting F1. And then if it's a hashtag, then we're going to make it a wall. And then anything else we ignore. Okay. It's a lot of closing braces. That's pretty straightforward, more or less a direct port of the one from the wave function collapse. Now let's start making our build function. All right, let's get going with build. Match self mode. This is pretty straightforward, huh? One-liner. Prefab mode rex level template. Self load rex map template, and then find the starting point, start in the middle and walk left until we find an open tile, and self starting position map width over 2, and y is self map height over 2. And then while self map tiles start index is not equal to floor, self starting position dot x minus equals 1. Really? So we subtract 1 from the index and then get the XY. I guess. Why can't we just subtract 1 from the... Okay. And then we're just assuming that it's going to happen before start index goes negative, at which point Rust will collapse. Panic. All right, so this, I mistyped mode up here. Mode, there we go. And then we'll take a snapshot. Okay. Snapshot, there we go. Notice that we've copied over the find starting point code. We'll improve that at some point, but for now it ensures you can play your level. We haven't spawned anything, so you will be alone in the level. There's also a slightly different usage of match here. Yeah, we did this also before. I'm not sure why they're going over it now. Let's modify our random builder function to always call this type of map. All right, let's do that. Let's see if this checks. Fix any mistakes. This should be an arrow. I still have 5 errors. Oh. Really? I don't think they put it in up here, did they? Where am I looking? Yeah, right here. It can just be like that. Maybe because the semicolon made it confused, and then start index. Oh, we don't have a start index yet. Sometimes when I'm typing stuff in, my eyes slide over lines. Okay, and then we don't have a starting position. Why not? There we go. Zero dot dot layer width. There we go. Okay, so that checks with 8 warnings. Let's pull up the mod for the map builders and then make this the one and only map to build. Box new, prefab builder, new depth. All right. And then we get a lot of warnings. Oh, it's a private function. Okay, so let's make it not private. And expected standard boxed. Oh, did I put a semicolon there? I did. Of course I have it. All right, 45 warnings. Not bad for commenting out all that code. All right, and then we should be able to get the prefab on this roguelike. There we go. Refresh, and looks like it panicked. Okay, let's close that and run it here, and see what's failing. It might not be able to find the map. Maybe I did a typo there. But let's see what the actual error is. RTLib generated 44 warnings. Unable to open resource. Yeah, so I must have typoed the resource name. Oh yeah, right there. It should be a slash. Right? Let's just dive in and see if this works. This builds faster for WASM than it does for native, because it doesn't build any of the save load system. Yeah, okay, so that works. So we're getting our prefab level. You can see it flash very briefly. All right, so that was a mistake there. That's pretty straightforward. Let's quit out of this. Git status. Git add source. Clippy. Keep forgetting that. All right. Although we have tons of warnings now, so I don't want to push this code. git commit -m prefab refactoring contains warnings. I guess if I just put that message on there, that's fine. Okay, if you cargo run your project now, you can runnerwise the otherwise deserted map. So now populating test map with prefabbed entities. Let's pretend that our test map is some sort of super duper endgame map. We'll take a copy and call it WFC populated, and we'll splat a bunch of monster and item glyphs around it. Color coding is completely optional, but I put it in for clarity. You can see it. We have an @ to indicate the player start, greater than. Okay, so let's see if we can find that, because I don't have Rex Paint here. WFC populated. See if somebody else made one. No, that's not the file. That's the reference to the file. There we go. Somebody did create one. So thank you to that. Whoever did that. Smoku. Yeah, we got the map from Smoku last time. All right, so it's in resources, right? Into resources. Good. Oh, okay. Oops. So let's pretend that I did that using Rex Paint here, and now we're going to modify Rex assets to include it. WC populated.xp. That's the embed, and then here's this one. And this is populated XP, right? And then we're going to reference it here in our prefab, right? This is the prefab code. I should still check. It does not. Oh, because I called it the same thing. Populated. Let's do the same thing here. There we go. And now prefab. We're going to add spawns with a back use size and string. Okay. Now we'll modify our constructor to use the new map. Prefab. Oh, sorry. Populated. And then that's the mode. And then spawns is a vec new. We got a bunch of new spawns. All right. So that's done. And now we in our spawn entity. So to make use of the function in spawner.rs that accepts this type of data, we need to make it public. So we open up the file and add the word pub to the function signature. Wait, really? Oops. I hit Control W in the wrong window. Where were we? We did all that. We did all that. We did all that. Okay, here we are. Here we go. Spawner. Spawn entities. Entity. We do have a spawn entity. Oh, and we do have a... Okay. So they're saying open it up by making it a pub. And then, okay, we can save that. And then in prefab builder, in our spawn entities, which is down here, for entity in self spawns iter, spawner, spawn entity, ECS, entity.0, and entity.1. All right. So we're going to fill in the spawn entity using this code here. Oh, okay. So we're basically mapping. That makes sense, right? Because we put a bunch of characters on the map to say what to spawn in each location. It doesn't say specifically what to spawn, right? But it does say the type to spawn, right? So this is any potion. This is any, I don't know what that is, an O? I don't think zooming in is going to help. No, that doesn't really help. It keeps the same size, but just increases the text. Okay. So we will, in our load rex map, we're going to change that. We already have code that handles the floors and walls, but now we can set the starting location. Self map tiles IDX is tile type floor, and self starting position is this current position. Like this, x as I32 and y as I32. Right, like that. And then we have greater than for the downstairs. Oh, okay, we can say go caret %bang and ignore everything else. Is there a better way to do this? There is a better way to do this, but I'm going to just, for now, copy paste. Self map tiles IDX is tile type floor, lowercase l, and self spawns dot push IDX goblin to string. There is definitely an easier way to do this. Why did that not indent? Oh, because of that maybe? It should have, no? Oh, because it's a tuple. I missed one of these guys. There we go. Okay, so now it matches. So we have goblins, we have orcs, traps, food, and potions. Oh, so we're not putting down any other kind of things. That's interesting. So there's orc, trap, food, and a potion. And for everything else, we're going to say RLTK console log format unknown glyph. Like that. And of course, once again, I forgot to close that. Like that. Okay. So now these all need to change from goblin to orc, from goblin to bear trap, goblin to rations, and goblin to health potion. Okay. So these are the only things we can specify on our Rex paint thing. This recognizes the extra glyphs and prints a warning to the console if we loaded one and we forgot to handle. Note that for entities, we're setting the tile to floor and then adding the entity type. That's because we can't overlay two glyphs on the same tile, but it stands to reason the entity is standing on the floor. Lastly, we'll modify our build function to not move the exit and the player. Okay, that makes sense, because if we're able to get the starting position, we should be able to get it from the map. Oh, we don't have this. Exit tiles. All right, so we take a snapshot, find a starting point. If self-starting position x is 0, then we'll do all this. If self-starting position.x is 0, then we're going to do this stuff here, right? All of this. And then we're going to find an exit tile. That's a very long function name. Start IDX. And then self take snapshot. And then place the stairs. Self map tiles exit tile equals tile type downstairs. Self take snapshot, and we're done. All right, so we only do this if the loading the Rex level did not result in a starting position. If you cargo run the project now, we start in the specified location, entities spawn around you. Okay, let's try it. First, we'll see if it checks. We'll fix these warnings. I forgot to add the glyph here. Cell.ch, is it? As U8 as char. Okay. And then what's wrong with this? Not found in this scope. Didn't I do create? Use create star. Oh, returning most distant with a T. Nope. Consider importing this function. Where is it from? It's create map builders. Okay. I should be able to say use create map builders. Right? That's it. Okay, we saw 44 warnings because we have all that other code commented out. But I should be able to build this guy. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed a couple of questions. Ravi says, how much time does it take to learn Rust according to your experience? So getting the basics of Rust shouldn't take too long. You work through the Rust workbook. You probably can get everything learned within a week or so, the basics of it. But if you look at my Rust code from like 2 years ago when I actually started learning Rust to today, it's much better. So the more you use it, the more you learn, basically. But you can get the basics within a week or so. There are people who stream Rust tutorials. Those are useful. And there are a bunch of YouTube videos on learning Rust from the ground up. But I would definitely start with the Rust Lang toolbook, the Rust book. Just rustlang.org. Get started with that, and there's a Rustling. Where's Rustling? I thought it was on here. The cargo book's useful after you've gotten the basics down, but where's Rustling? Small exercises to get you used to the Rust language. So I would recommend checking out this repo. Pull it down, and it's got a very easy thing. You just run it, and it'll take you step by step through all the stuff you need to know about Rust from the ground up. So it's really handy. All right, so I built it. Let's refresh. And it panicked. All right. So that's where we come over here and see what the panic message is. Maybe I typoed the file name again. Let's see. Yeah, this takes longer to build because it's also generating a ton of code for the save load system. Everything. There we go. Index out of bounds. Len is 0, but the index is 0, and that's on game state line 73. Oh, that's interesting. So in game state line 73 is probably where we're setting the, we don't have any map history. We're trying to show the map, but there's no history for it. So there's got to be a snapshot somewhere, right? This snapshot. Oh, maybe I forgot that. In my build. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Self take snapshot. All right. So that was the problem. That was easy fix. And we say localhost 4000. Yeah. Okay. So we saw it. And we do start up there. So, and there's some food that got spawned as a result of our, okay, there's a goblin. Go away, goblin. Got a health potion. You can rest and get the health potion. All right. So that worked, right? We were able to use the prefab map, and I'm not sure what, I forgot his name already, or her name, their name, I should say, for generating the prefab map. I'm not sure where all the items went, but that's okay. It might just be this. It's possible that you don't like Rex Paint. Don't worry. I won't tell macros ready. Maybe you are on a platform that doesn't support it, or maybe you just don't not to have to rely on an external tool. We'll extend our reader to also support string output for maps. This will be handy later when we get to small room prefab/vaults. I cheated a bit and opened the WFC populated XP file in Rex and typed Control-T to save in text format. That gave me a nice notepad-friendly map file, and of course I can't select it. I also realized that Prefab Builder was going to outgrow a single file. Fortunately, Rust makes it pretty easy to turn a module into a multi-file monster. In map builders, I made a new directory called Prefab Builder. Oh, okay. Then I moved Prefab Builder RS into it and renamed it mod RS. The game compiles and runs exactly as before. All right, so we can actually just grab this text here, right? Although I'm not sure why this gets bumped out by a line. What's going on there? We'll start by finding a new struct prefab level. It holds a map template, a width and a height. Okay, so this is going to be the next section that we tackle. Rex-free prefabs. I'm not going to tackle it now. What I'm going to actually do is switch back the mod here in map builders so that we can. I'm going to put this as 1 actually, because we're not using this guy anymore. All right, and that should get rid of the warnings. Ha! Expected one of. What did I do wrong? Oh, I put a comma. There we go. We're down to 4 warnings. That's good. Do these 2 wider lines contain any escape characters? That's a good question. Possibly. I don't see them on this screenshot he took. But no, I don't see it. It's this line here. Unless the greater than sign would have done something. No. We can see where things got off, right? By looking here, we can see, let's see, that caret comes between those 3 there. Oh. So it's a little different. Oh, yeah. I can't tell where it shifted. I'm probably going back and forth too fast for you, trying to look at it, and then I'm moving it. And yeah, I don't know. I'll have to take a look offline to see where things got messed up. There's the GG right there. That's already shifted at this point, right? Okay, down here should be straight. Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be right around here, right? We'll clean it up when we copy it over. That'll be tomorrow if day 10 of Advent of Code is pretty easy. But we still have 4 warnings. Let's clean those up before we... We're not using specs prelude. Really? In prefab builders, we're not doing that? I thought we were using specs for ECS, right? Don't we need this for the world? And what were the other errors? Depth is never read. Okay, let's see. Depth is defined there. It's set there, and we don't use it here when we load the Rex map. Okay. So that's another piece of dead code we can specs prelude should be used because we're using world. All right, so I took out random number generator. Right, this is being used right here. This world is coming from specs prelude, I thought. Or maybe that's the thing we defined. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And then for depth, what was it? Allow dead code. Can I do it just for that one? Yeah, okay. Let's clippy it up and check it in. Oops. That does not need to be a reference. Oops, there. We're good. Git add source and resources. Git commit -m. Refactoring prefabs to handle. What did I put for the last one? Did I already talk about? Yeah, prefab refactoring contains warnings. Git commit -m prefabs from Rex files. We'll call it that. And tomorrow will be prefabs from text files, or it looks like prefabs from hard-coded strings. All right, that's good. That's good. We got it. We had a good stream today, I think. We got rid of. We solved day 9 of Advent of Code pretty handily. I got a little worried about the basin stuff, but once I started writing code, most of that backtracking stuff came back to me. And then we finished the waveform collapse, and we started on prefabs for this. Very good. All right, thank you everybody for joining. Let's see if there's somebody we can raid. Togglebit's up and Raphael is up. We did Raphael yesterday. Let's go to Togglebit. Let me take a look at his Twitch stream. Yep, he's up and running. So let's go raid him. Raid channel, Togglebit, start raid. All right, thanks again, and take care, everyone.